take the Porsche to the car meet. Just kidding, I'm taking the Mazda. Yep, the peak of automotive performance. Hey there, everybody. I'm over here at a place called Copper Valley Town Square. It's out in the middle of nowhere. It's in my hometown. As people that know me personally know that I live pretty far out there in California. And there's not a huge car scene out here. It's very much so just car shows over the summer with you know, a lot of old guys that have their project cars that they keep inside all year, and then they bring them out these one times. It's not like the Bay Area or anything like that where you kind of have car culture going on all year round. So it's a real treat when you see some cool cars up here. And today, Concours from Monterey. I'll make sure that I put subtitles to put what their actual name is. They do a run up here every year. I think it's called the Blossom Copper Trail Run or something, and they come from Monterey up here where Concours, or Pebble Beach Concours, is held, and they do a run up here every year with their supercars. Last year they did Ferraris, and there were some other classic cars that were in there. There was even a Di Tomaso Pantera. I'm hoping to see that again this year. And there's supposed to be a couple coming up again this year. I heard that the theme for this year was Lamborghinis, so that'll be really cool. I got here and I don't see a whole lot here yet, but they're supposed to start staging around this time. You're not going to see my face too much because I'm kind of camera shy. This is my first car vlog, and I just kind of want to get around and just see some cool cars, get some cool photos, and, you know, some shots, and just see how it goes. And if I do get to talk to any of the owners, I'll make sure I put that in there. And I just want to get some cool B-roll shots too. So yeah, bear with me. Like I said, it's my first car vlog. I'm not a huge charismatic car or vlog guy. You know, usually if you look at my other YouTube channels, I'm behind my desk in my room talking into a microphone, which is usually where I'm at. So I don't go out in public too much. So yeah, let's just see what they got and get some shots as they roll into here. So this is Copper Town Square, the cultural pinnacle of Copperopolis, California. Let's see here. I think they're just getting here right now. I know that they're staying at one of the resorts, the whole group is, and then they're all kind of coming over here. So, and there's supposed to be a lot of Corvettes at this one this year. So there's a classic Corvette over there. We'll go see that one in a little bit, let him clean up his car. And let's see here, here's a C8 Corvette. Still one of the, I think this is probably the coolest Corvette. You know, there's definitely, Corvettes are definitely not my thing, but the C8 is really cool. I got a McLaren. I am not that great at supercars. My main gig is like older classic cars, so if I get something wrong, I'm sorry. And this is, I think it's a Bentley. Is it a Bentley? It might be a Bentley. Let me see on the back. I think that might be a Bentley. I don't know. We'll have to see. Let's go down here. There. Lamborghini. Again, I have no idea what model this is. But it looks cool. And I don't know if this is a part of it. Cadillac. Cadillacs don't hold as much weight as they used to, I think. But Ferrari here. Again, it just might be, I don't think this is a 308, but I actually really prefer Ferraris over Lamborghinis. Nothing against Lamborghinis. I think the Lamborghini Miura is one of the best cars, or most beautiful cars ever made. But when it comes to like slightly newer cars, these 80s Ferraris, there's something about them. These like 80s through 90s Ferraris are just so cool looking. The pop-up headlights and everything. If I ever make it big one day, big if, this would be the car that I would get, something like this. I just have to learn more about them to like properly maintain them. So yeah, I think for now I am just going to get some shots, maybe some B-roll, and then get some shots of them coming in, because I hear some more cars around the corner.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So, funny thing, I had to race the Ferrari meet here to Ironstone Vineyards up in Murphy's, California. I wanted to get some rolling shots of them pulling in and going up the street, get some really nice sound shots and everything. I don't think that I got as good a shots as I wanted, but you know, practice makes perfect. I'm just trying to practice a little bit right now with this stuff. And I was stuck behind them on the road, and what I had to do was pull off on a one-lane side road that goes through the mountains here, and I just drove as fast as I could, and I managed to beat them here. I think I missed one car, so I was able to get some nice shots. I'll try to put those in here, and yeah, it gives me an opportunity to really kind of look at these cars up close. The owners are inside. They're going to an event in Murphy's today, but I am going to take this opportunity to kind of have a closer look at their cars while they're parked here, get some pictures of them. Yeah, so this was a Corvette event. So Corvette and Lamborghinis, I believe, were the big thing today. Although there's only like one Lamborghini I've seen, so it's kind of funny. But yeah, these Corvette C8s are nice. I was at Motor Trend as an intern when this car first got released, and I think I missed it by like a couple months when they finally got one in the fleet there, so I wasn't able to drive one or even sit in it, and I was really disappointed. I was hoping that I'd be able to stick around long enough to at least see the C8 Corvette. And then there's an Aston Martin here that's doomed to. That's kind of funny. Yeah, these are cars that you do not see in this area. You know, we live in, or I live in a remote area, and you know, like I said earlier in the video, these are just kind of these are cars that are not very common up here, because you mostly see a lot of old muscle and a lot of trucks because we live in cattle country. You know, this is the only Lamborghini at the event, I think. I haven't seen any other ones, but you know, it's cool to see one up here. I don't think I've ever seen a Lamborghini in this area before. That is a beautiful honeycomb rim right there. This Bentley right here belongs to the event organizer. He's very gracious enough to keep in contact with me to let me know about this. So this is a really, really nice car. I mean, it's just a classic looking giant four-door sedan. This thing's a tank. They don't make cars like this like they used to. So and then there was a lot of Ferraris last year, but this one's really cool. You know, I've always been more of a Ferrari guy when it comes to supercars. That's beautiful. That is just so clean. You could tell this never leaves the garage, I bet, or it's just always professionally maintained. Yep, look at that. And then over here, another C8 Corvette. I really like the interior on this one. I don't know if you guys can see it on the camera, but it's got some nice red leather highlights and everything in there. And yeah, and then over here, oh no, wait, yeah, okay, yeah, here's the other Ferrari. Like I mentioned earlier, I really like these old style Ferraris, or this generation. This generation is like, this is it for me. It's very nostalgic. These are just, these remind me of, you know, my childhood. I think the funny thing about these cars is that, you know, these are the kind of cars that you think are cool before you even really know anything about cars. This is like, you know, every Hot Wheel or whatever, like every model car, you see these are just like, this is what a sports car looks like to you, or a fancy car looks like to you, before you really even know anything about cars. And I think that's really, you know, why a lot of people from, you know, that grew up in that era have kind of a nostalgic attachment to these model Corvettes, Ferraris. Yeah, this is a 355, F355. So I need to get up to date on my Ferrari knowledge and everything, and my supercar knowledge. But this is just a beautiful car, and it's a stick shift, so that's really cool. And then there's another Vette over here. Man, you could feel the heat radiating out of this. These things produce a lot of power, and I bet you they produce a lot of heat. And then over here, this classic Vette. My friend Pablo, who's a restaurant owner and everything, he is a huge Corvette fan. I never understood it. I don't get the hype with a lot of Corvettes, but I do appreciate them. They are, you know, America's sports car, and you know, I can appreciate that. I think that they are still beautiful cars, even though they're not really my thing. But this is just gorgeous. You know, that's got those wire-looking wheels. They look wired, but you know, they're not. And this is also, it's a 4-speed. It's very cool. Pristine chrome interior, the whole thing. But yeah, and look at that steering wheel. I love a good steering wheel. That's like my favorite thing about you know, classic cars, is I love those old style steering wheels. You don't get that with a lot of these big fat steering wheels now. Like, look at that Ferrari steering wheel. Even this era, these are really cool. So the funny thing is that this area that they're all parked at here, this is where they hold the Ironstone Concours. It's kind of like a more low-key version of Concours, which you see in or Concours. I don't know if it's Concours or Concourse. Nobody's ever corrected me on that, so I'm just going to assume that it's Concours. I'm gonna keep calling it. But it's a more low-key version of the Concours that you usually see down in Pebble Beach, which is really cool. And it still attracts a lot of, it still holds a lot of weight. I guess I could describe it that way. There's a lot of vintage cars that you see there. There's a lot of supercars. There's a lot of just great restorations. There's a lot of original preservations. There's even cars from the Academy of Art Automotive Museum in San Francisco that made it down there. Then I recognize those cars from when I lived in San Francisco, and I saw them in downtown and everything. So that's really cool. There was even officials from Concours that came from the big Concours event, came down and judged it and everything. So, you know, again, it was nice because it brought a lot of cars up to this area that you don't see very often. Because like I said, it's a lot of American muscle up here, and it's a lot of trucks. And while I love those cars, I'm an American muscle gearhead, it is always nice to see some variety. So I really enjoyed that event. I will be covering that too on this channel when that happens. So I think right now what I'm going to do is just get some nice B-roll footage of these cars just kind of parked here, and this is a really nice background for it. Get some nice B-roll footage, get some nice photos of it, and yeah, and then kind of wrap up the video.